Welcome back to Truevenge Chronicles, the home of revenge stories where calm people win with proof, not noise. If you are new here, I'm glad you found us. If you've been riding with us, you already know we bring twists, receipts, and clear payback. Today's episode is titled, "My Boss Said I Didn't Have Leverage the Contract Clause Did." You'll meet a steady contract manager who gets mocked in a meeting, pushed toward a shady deal, and told he has zero power. What his boss forgets is simple. Leverage can be written in black ink. Stay with me for the clause, the trap, and the clean victory. Now sit back, relax, and fully enjoy the story of the day.
The room smelled like strong coffee and wet wool. Rain had followed us in from the Rotterdam harbor, and everyone's coats hung heavy on the backs of chairs. My boss, Marlene Koster, stood at the head of the table with a smile that did not reach her eyes. A client from the Port Authority sat across from me, hands folded, waiting. Marlene snapped her pen shut and said, "Elias, you don't have leverage here. Sign the change order and move on." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't roll my eyes. I just pulled our master contract from my bag and slid it across the table, open to a page I had marked with a bright tab. Clause 12.7, I said. It says any change order that adds a subcontractor needs written approval from the Port Authority first. Without that, the whole contract can be terminated. The room went still. You could hear the hum of the old air unit and the soft tap of rain on the window. Marlene's smile froze. The client, Anouk de Graaf, leaned forward and read the lines for herself. That moment did not happen by accident. It was the last step on a quiet path. I started the day Marlene decided to humiliate me in front of everyone and call it business. I'm Elias Vermeer. I'm 35, and I live in Rotterdam, Netherlands, near the Maas River, in a small apartment that smells like paper and dish soap. I work as a contract compliance officer at Delta Haven Infrastructure. That title sounds fancy, but it mostly means I read agreements until my eyes hurt and I stop problems before they turn into lawsuits. I like order. I like dates, signatures, and clear rules. Delta Haven builds and maintains heavy port systems, the kind that lift containers like toys. Our biggest job that year was the Harbor Gate upgrade, a project for the Port Authority. The numbers were huge, the pressure was bigger, and Marlene acted like she was the only reason the company still breathed. Marlene Koster was 44, always dressed sharp, always talking fast. She was our commercial director, which meant she chased deals and took credit for them. She did not like being slowed down by people like me, people who asked, "Where is the approval?" or "Who signed this?" She once told a room full of managers that compliance was the handbrake on success. Everyone laughed, because she was the one holding the bonus list. The shift started on a Monday in late October. The sky was low and gray, and the harbor cranes looked like dark birds against the clouds. We had our weekly project meeting in conference room C, a glass box that always smelled like marker ink. The agenda was simple: cost overruns, late deliveries, and one risky subcontractor swap Marlene wanted done by Friday. She walked in 10 minutes late, tossed her phone on the table, and started talking like she had been there the whole time. "We're going to bring in Voss Marine Services for the electrical work," she said. "Cheaper, faster, no drama." I looked down at my notes. Voss Marine Services was not on our approved vendor list. No file, no checks, and no Port Authority approval. "Omar," Marlene said, turning to our senior project engineer, "you can work with Voss, yes?" Omar Hadi was 41, tall, careful, and tired in a way only field people get. He nodded slowly. "Maybe," he said, "but the Port Authority needs to approve any new subcontractor. That's in the master contract." Marlene waved a hand like she was brushing away dust. "We'll handle it," she said. I cleared my throat. "I need the approval in writing before we issue a change order," I said. Clause 12.7. Marlene turned her head toward me. Her eyes were flat. "Elias, stop hiding behind clauses," she said. "This is business. We don't have time for your paper fear." A few people shifted in their seats. No one spoke. I felt my face get warm, but I kept my voice even. "It's not fear," I said. "It's the rule we agreed to." Marlene leaned forward. "Let me be clear," she said, loud enough for everyone. "You don't have leverage. The Port Authority wants results, not lectures. Sign what I put in front of you and let the adults work. The word leverage landed like a slap. I looked around the table. Some people stared at their laptops. Some pretended to check their calendars. Omar met my eyes for half a second, then looked away. He did not agree with her, but he also did not want to get crushed. After the meeting, Marlene caught up to me near the elevators. The hallway smelled like floor cleaner. "Don't make me repeat myself," she said in a low voice. "We're doing Voss. If you block it, I will move you off Harbor Gate." I kept my hands in my pockets. "If we add them without approval, we risk termination," I said. Marlene smiled, small and sharp. "Termination is a scare word," she said. "No one cancels a project this big. They bark, they don't bite." Then she walked away, heels clicking, like the rules were made for other people. That night I sat at my kitchen table with the master contract open and a mug of tea that went cold. Clause 12.7 was plain. It was written to stop secret subcontractors and backroom deals. If Marlene ignored it, the Port Authority could cancel the whole job and demand money back. I didn't want drama. I wanted safety. So I did what I always did. I documented. On Tuesday morning, I emailed Marlene and copied our in-house lawyer, Nina Smith, a calm woman who spoke like a judge, even in jeans. I wrote that I could not approve Voss without written Port Authority consent. Marlene did not reply. Nina walked to my desk and whispered, "Keep everything. You may need it." Quick pause, Truevenge family. Are you enjoying this story so far? And do you feel the pressure building? Tell me in the comments what you think about Marlene's attitude and the risky subcontractor move. If you were in my shoes right now, would you stay quiet to protect your job? Or would you push back and demand written approval even if your boss gets angry? Be honest, because this is the moment where most people fold. Also, what do you think about Truevenge Chronicles so far? Does this kind of proof-based revenge keep you hooked? Drop your city and country too, so we can see where you're watching from. And if you want the payoff and the clause that flips the whole table, hit subscribe right now and stay with me. Should I alert the Port Authority now, call HR, or gather proof until she signs herself into trouble? After Nina's whisper, I stopped thinking like an employee who wanted to be liked. I started thinking like a person who needed to be safe. I opened a folder on my laptop and named it Harbor Gate Timeline. I saved my email. I saved Marlene's messages. I saved the contract page with clause 12.7. Then I dug into the draft change order she was pushing. Voss Marine Services was listed as pending, but a change order was already uploaded, dated Monday evening, with Marlene's approval stamp. The quote looked too perfect. The price was low, the schedule was fast, and one line made my stomach tighten. Consulting fee, 18,500 euros. Payable to Northbridge Advisory. Northbridge Advisory was not registered as a supplier. It was a new name, tucked in like a secret. I printed the quote and drove to the site office by the docks. The air smelled like diesel and cold water. Omar Hadi, our senior project engineer, read the line and frowned hard. "Why is there a consulting fee on electrical work?" he asked. "That's what I'm trying to find out," I said. Omar lowered his voice. "Marlene will blame the paperwork people if this blows up," he said. "She always does." Back at the office, I showed the quote to Nina Smith, our in-house lawyer. Nina was calm, sharp, and impossible to bully. She clicked through our system and shook her head. "Northbridge isn't on our books," she said. "Fees like this can trigger the anti-corruption policy." She emailed our finance lead, Sander Vink, to ask if Northbridge had ever been paid. Sander replied fast, "No prior payments, vendor not registered, no contract." Nina looked at me and said, "Good. Facts." That afternoon, Marlene called me into her office. Riverview, awards on the shelf, door closed. "I need your signature today," she said, pushing the change order toward me. It added Voss. It added Northbridge. It said approval pending, but there was no letter from the Port Authority. "I can't sign this," I said. Marlene's eyes flashed. "You will," she said. "Or you can start looking for work somewhere else." I kept my voice level. "Send the written approval and I'll sign," I said. She laughed once, sharp. "You really think you have leverage?" she said. "You don't." I stood up. "Then you don't need my signature," I said. Her smile dropped. "Get out," she snapped. By Friday, she announced in a team email that Voss would start Monday, and all compliance items were handled. She even tagged my name, like a label could turn a lie into truth. I replied to her only one sentence. I have not received written Port Authority approval per clause 12.7. 2 minutes later, she answered, noted. Monday morning, Omar texted me a photo. A Voss van sat at the gate, crew unloading tools like they belonged there. My throat went dry because the Port Authority always asked one question when something changed. Who approved it? At 8:10, Anouk de Graaf from the Port Authority emailed the project inbox. Subject line, subcontractor list update. She asked for our current list, including any new parties. If we lied, we were trapped. If we told the truth, Marlene would punish us. Nina did not hesitate. She drafted a clean reply. Voss had been requested internally, but no Port Authority approval had been granted or received. 10 minutes after that email went out, Marlene stormed into Nina's office. What did you send? She snapped. We answered their question, Nina said. Marlene spun on me. You went behind my back, she said. I warned you in writing, I said. Clause 12.7. Her face tightened, then she smiled slow. Fine, she said. You can explain yourself to the Port Authority. I'll set a meeting. The invite landed before lunch. Tuesday, 10. Conference room A. Marlene, me, Nina, Sander, Anouk. That night, I spread papers across my kitchen table. I highlighted clause 12.7, then kept reading. I found the leverage Marlene pretended did not exist. Clause 12.9 said that if we used an unapproved subcontractor, the Port Authority could terminate for cause, demand repayment of related costs, and bar us from bidding for 2 years. Clause 12.11 gave them audit rights over payments, including advisory fees and third-party commissions, if there was any suspicion of an undisclosed benefit. I printed those pages and slid them into a plain manila folder. Simple, clear, hard to argue with. Just after midnight, Omar called me, voice tight. Elias, the Port Authority supervisor, stopped Voss, he said. They tried to enter a restricted electrical room. They don't have clearance. My chest went cold. Did anyone get in? I asked. No, he said, but the supervisor said he'll report it. In the morning, Anouk sent another email, short and sharp. Meeting was mandatory. Bring all subcontractor documentation. Marlene forwarded it with one line. Elias, this is on you. Fix it. That was when I understood her plan. She was going to sacrifice me. She would say compliance delayed things, compliance failed onboarding, compliance caused the confusion. She would keep her deal and let me take the fall. Before lunch, Sander walked to my desk with a printed report. He pointed at a bank account on the page. This is the payment instruction for Northbridge, he said. It's a personal account, not a company. I stared at it. The numbers were neat, like someone thought neatness could hide intent. Sander swallowed. If this gets paid, it's ugly, he said. I nodded once. Then we stop it before it moves, I said. Tuesday arrived with rain and low clouds. I walked into conference room A with the folder in my bag and my voice ready to stay calm. Marlene was already there, laughing with Anouk like they were friends. When she saw me, her smile turned thin. Ready to explain yourself? She asked. I set my bag down. I'm ready to explain the contract, I said, and I watched her blink, just once, like doubt finally reached her. After I saw that personal bank account, I stopped calling this a maybe. I asked Sander to email the report to Nina and me, and to lock any payment request until legal cleared it. Sander nodded, relieved to have a reason to slow things down. That afternoon, Marlene tried another angle. She called me into a small meeting room with HR, Lotte Jansen, a 38-year-old manager who spoke softly but carried company rules like a shield. Marlene sat with her arms folded, already angry. Elias is blocking progress, Marlene said. He's refusing to sign routine paperwork. Lotte looked at me. Is that true? She asked. I'm refusing to sign paperwork that violates clause 12.7, I said. If you want me to sign, I need written Port Authority approval and a registered vendor file for Northbridge. Thanks for watching, end quote. Marlene rolled her eyes. He's being difficult on purpose, she said. I kept my voice calm. If I'm being directed to break the contract, I need that direction in writing. I said. The room went quiet. Loda shifted in her chair. Let's not escalate, she said. I'm not escalating, I replied. I'm asking for documentation. Marlene ended the meeting fast. Outside the room, she leaned close and whispered, You're going to regret embarrassing me. I didn't answer. I wrote the time and date on my notepad the moment I got back to my desk. Before I left for the day, I walked past the lobby and saw Marlene speaking with a man I did not recognize. He wore a Voss jacket and held a leather folder. Marlene's hand touched his arm for a second, like familiarity, not business. When he turned, I saw his badge. Joris van Laan, Voss Marine Services, Sales Director. He nodded at me like we had never met. Marlene did not introduce us. She just watched me walk by, eyes narrow, as if she was checking whether I had seen enough. That night, I read our own company code of conduct, line by line. It said employees must report any undisclosed commissions, and it promised protection against retaliation when the report was made in good faith. Nina confirmed it by text. If they try to punish you for raising a contract risk, that becomes another violation. I slept in short bursts. Each time I woke up, I pictured the meeting room, Anouk's eyes on the paper, and Marlene's thin smile. I wasn't looking for revenge. I was looking for a clean record and a clear exit from her trap. In the morning, I would let her talk, and then I would let Clause 12. 7 speak louder than she could ever. Part 2. Conference room A felt colder than it should have. Rain tapped the window like a timer. My boss, Marlene Koster, sat tall, shoulders back, like she owned the air. Anouk de Graaf from the Port Authority sat across from her, calm and watchful. Nina and Sanders sat beside me. I kept my hands still. Marlene started fast. We are here because Elias overreacted and confused everyone, she said. Voss was approved in principle. My team was handling it. Anouk didn't smile. Approved in principle is not approved, she said. We asked for written consent. Marlene turned to me. Elias, tell them how you slowed onboarding, she said. I didn't argue. I reached into my bag, took out the manila folder, and placed it on the table. I'm here to follow the contract, I said. Marlene gave a short laugh. You don't have leverage, she said. You're just a compliance guy. I opened the folder to the marked page and slid the contract toward Anouk. Clause 12.7, I said. Any change order that adds a subcontractor requires written Port Authority approval before work begins. Voss started without it. The room went quiet. Anouk leaned forward and read the lines. Marlene's smile froze. Anouk looked up. Who authorized access attempts last night? She asked. Voss tried to enter a restricted electrical room, I said. They were stopped. They do not have clearance, Marlene snapped. They misunderstood. Anouk answered, Misunderstanding does not change obligations. Show me the written approval. Marlene shifted. We were finalizing it, she said. Anouk turned to me. Did you receive any approval? She asked. No, I said. I asked for it in writing. I never got it. Anouk nodded once, then looked at Sander. What payments were planned for this change order? She asked. Sander opened his laptop. The Voss quote includes a consulting fee, he said. 18,500 euros. Payable to Northbridge Advisory. Anouk's eyes narrowed. What service are they providing? Marlene jumped in. Support work. Admin. Nina's voice stayed calm. Northbridge is not registered as a vendor, she said, and the payment instruction is to a personal bank account, not a company. Marlene shot her a sharp look. Nina did not flinch. I turned another page in the folder. Clause 12.11, I said. Audit rights. It covers advisory fees and third-party commissions if there is suspicion of an undisclosed benefit. Anouk read it, then sat back. There is suspicion, she said. Today, she picked up her phone. Work with Voss stops immediately, she said. All access badges for Voss are revoked pending review. Delta Haven will deliver all subcontractor documents and payment records within 48 hours. Marlene protested. That will delay the schedule. Anouk met her eyes. Better delayed than compromised, she said. When Anouk left, Marlene stood so fast her chair scraped. What did you do? She hissed. I followed the contract, I said. She leaned close. You just tried to destroy this company. she whispered. And you'll pay for it. I walked out with Nina and Sander. In the hallway, Sander's voice shook. She's going to come after us, he said. Nina nodded. That's why we report properly, she said. By midday, our CEO, Henk Brouwer, called an emergency leadership meeting. Henk was 52, broad-shouldered, with a calm voice that usually made rooms settle. He looked straight at me. Tell me the timeline, he said. I gave it clean. Monday meeting, clause warning, no written approval, Voss on site, restricted access attempt, consulting fee, personal bank account, audit clause invoked. Henk turned to Nina. Real risk? He asked. Yes, Nina said. Contract and policy risk. Henk looked at Sander. Freeze payments? He asked. Already done, Sander said. Henk nodded. Then he looked at me again. Elias, file a formal integrity report today with attachments, he said. And step away from Harbor Gate until the review is done. That protects you and the process. Marlene opened her mouth to protest, but Henk cut her off. Enough, he said. We deal in facts now. I walked out with my stomach tight. Marlene had told me I had no leverage. But a contract clause had just stopped her in front of the client, and the real fight was only starting. That afternoon, I sat at my desk and wrote the integrity report like a checklist. Date, time, who spoke, what was missing. I attached Marlene's noted reply. I attached the Voss quote. I attached the finance report with the personal bank account. I attached a nuke stop work message. Then I dug deeper. In our email archive, I searched Northbridge and Voss. A thread popped up from 2 weeks earlier between Marlene and Joris Van Laan, the Voss sales director. The subject line was Fast Track. Marlene wrote, use the advisory line as discussed. Keep it separate. Payment route is ready. My mouth went dry. I saved the thread as a PDF and added it to the report. At 16:20, Marlene walked past my desk with HR manager Lotte Janssen. Marlene didn't look at me, but Lotte did. Her face was tight, like she was carrying bad news. Minutes later, an HR email hit my inbox. Please attend a meeting tomorrow at 9 regarding a workplace concern. Nina called me. Do not go alone, she said. I'll be there. That night, my phone buzzed with one message from an unknown number. Drop the report or you're finished. I took a screenshot and saved it. By morning, I was dressed before my alarm. At 8:55, I walked toward the HR floor, folder in my hand, calm outside, and alert inside. I texted Omar to keep the site log safe and to write down every time Voss tried to enter a restricted area. He replied, already doing it. Nina also told Sander to keep the payment freeze-proof. I made one more printout of clause 12.9 and clause 12.11. If HR tried to paint me as stubborn, I wanted the paper to answer for anyone watching later. Hold up for a second, friends. We just hit the point where the client stopped the work, and the pressure is real. How would you handle this HR meeting if you were me? Would you walk in alone, bring a lawyer, or resign on the spot? Tell me your strategy in the comments, because this next move decides who controls the story. Also, what do you think Marlene is hiding behind that Northbridge advisory line? Is it greed, panic, or something worse? If Truevenge Chronicles is keeping you locked in, let me know with a quick comment and a like. Write your country and city so we can shout you out. And if you want to see the clause turn into a full win, subscribe now and stay to the end with me. Do you trust the CEO, or do you think management will protect the boss and blame me? At 9, Nina and I walked into the HR office together. Lotte Janssen sat behind a small desk with a glass of water and a folder. Marlene sat in the chair beside her, arms crossed, like she was the victim. Lotte spoke first. This meeting is about workplace behavior and cooperation, she said. Marlene leaned forward. Elias has been obstructing, she said. He refuses to sign documents and he undermines leadership in front of clients. I kept my hands on my knees. I refused to sign documents that lacked required approval, I said, and I did not undermine anyone. I answered a direct client question with facts. Marlene scoffed. Facts? He's making us look corrupt, she said. Nina's voice stayed even. The contract created the risk, she said, not Elias. Lotte glanced at her notes. Marlene says you are not a team player, she told me. I nodded once. If being a team player means breaking the contract, then yes, I'm not, I said. Marlene's face reddened. See? She snapped. He's proud of it. I reached into my folder and placed 2 screenshots on Lotte's desk. I also received threats, I said. After refusing to sign and after filing the integrity report, Lotte's eyes moved over the words. Drop the report or you're finished. She didn't speak right away. Marlene sat back, suddenly careful. Anyone can send a text, she said. I agree, I said. That's why I documented everything else too. Nina slid the email thread toward Lotte, the one where Marlene told Joris to use the advisory line and keep it separate. Lotte read it once, then again. Her mouth tightened. Marlene, Lotte said, did you write this? Marlene's voice turned cold. That is being taken out of context, she said. Lotte looked at Nina. I need legal guidance, she said. Nina nodded. You already have it, she replied. We escalate to the integrity committee and suspend the payment path immediately. The HR meeting ended without a decision about me, but something shifted. For the first time, Marlene could not steer the room with confidence. She stood up fast and said to me, enjoy your little victory. Then she walked out. At noon, Hank called me and Nina into his office. Sander was already there, along with Jan Meyer, our head of security, who spoke in short sentences. Hank didn't waste time. Port Authority Oversight wants a full audit meeting tomorrow, he said. They are invoking Clause 12.11. He looked at me. Elias, you will attend, he said. You will not speak emotionally. You will speak in dates and documents. I nodded. That's what I do, I said. Hank turned to January. No one deletes anything, he said. Lock Marlene's access now. Jan nodded once. Already in motion, he said. That afternoon, the company email went out. Marlene Koster is on temporary leave pending review. The message was short, but the building buzzed like a power line. Omar called me from the dock. They pulled Voss off site, he said. Their van left 10 minutes ago. Their flyer ever. I exhaled for the first time in days. Good, I said. Write down the time. The next morning, we met at the Port Authority office, a clean building with halls and security gates that beeped when you walked through. Anouk de Graaf sat at the table again, this time with 2 more people. Cohen Van Dyke from Contract Oversight, a gray-haired man who looked like he had seen every trick, and Fatima Rahal, a finance auditor with sharp eyes and a calm voice. Cohen opened the meeting. Delta Haven is in breach risk, he said. We will decide next steps based on cooperation. Hank spoke first. We are cooperating, he said. We halted Voss work. We froze payments. We initiated an internal review. Fatima looked at Sander. Show me the payment trail, she said. Sander pulled up the vendor request. He showed the Northbridge setup, the personal bank account, the attempt to enter it into our payment system. Fatima wrote notes without looking up. Then Cohen looked at me. Mr. Vermeer, he said, show me where the contract required approval. I slid Clause 12.7 forward, then I slid Clause 12.9, then I slid Clause 12.11. Cohen read silently. Anouk watched Marlene's name on the email attachments like it was a stain. Fatima asked, who controls Northbridge Advisory? Nina answered, we are still confirming ownership, but we have reason to believe it is linked to Marlene Koster's family. Hank's jaw tightened. We found an address match, he said. Northbridge uses the same address as a small office registered to Bram Koster. Cohen raised an eyebrow. Relation? He asked. Hank paused. Brother? He said. The room went cold in a different way. Not fear, clarity. Anouk exhaled. So the advisory fee could have routed to the commercial director's family, she said. Hank did not defend her. That is why she is on leave, he said. Cohen nodded once. This is what Clause 12.11 is for, he said. Undisclosed benefit. Anouk leaned forward. Here is the choice, she said. We can terminate for cause and bar Delta Haven for 2 years, or you can self-report fully, remove the people involved, and repay any costs linked to unapproved actions. Hank's voice was steady. We will self-report, he said. Cohen's eyes stayed on me for a moment. You did the right thing, he said, simple, like a stamp. On the way back to our office, I felt light and sick at the same time. Light because I was not crazy. Sick because I had been sitting next to this for months, smiling in meetings, thinking it was only pressure. By Friday, the internal investigation moved fast. Jan and IT pulled Marlene's work devices. Finance traced the vendor request. Legal reviewed her messages. The evidence lined up like dominoes. At 15, Hank called a company-wide meeting in the main hall. People stood with coffee cups and nervous eyes. Hank stepped onto a small stage and spoke without drama. We have identified serious violations of contract and integrity standards connected to the Harbor Gate project, he said. Marlene Koster's employment is terminated effective immediately. The matter is being referred to external authorities. No one cheered, no one clapped, they just absorbed it. After the meeting, I saw Marlene for the last time. She walked through the lobby with Jan beside her. She carried a small box with her desk items. Her face was pale, but her eyes were still sharp. She stopped when she saw me. "You think you won?" she said quietly. I kept my voice low. "I think the contract won," I said. Her mouth twisted. "You had no leverage," she said, like she could still hurt me with the old line. I nodded toward the folder in my hand. "The clause did," I said. Jan guided her to the door. She left without looking back. The Port Authority did not let us off easy. We had to submit a full report. We had to repay the cost of Voss mobilization. We had to replace subcontractor plans and reapply for approvals. It was painful, but it was survivable, and we kept the project because we told the truth before it became a scandal on the news. A week later, Hank called me into his office. The river outside was bright, sunlight breaking through clouds. "I owe you an apology," he said. "We let a culture grow where speed mattered more than honesty." I didn't speak. I just waited. Hank continued, "We're creating a new role, access and contract compliance lead for major projects. Nina recommended you. So did Cohen from the Port Authority." My chest tightened. "Why me?" I asked. "Because you didn't panic," Hank said. "You didn't gossip. You brought paper." He slid a document across the desk. Offer letter. Salary increase. Clear job scope. The kind of writing that respects you. I signed it with a steady hand. That evening, I walked along the Maas River after work. Wind, cold on my face, cranes moving in the distance. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Omar. "Harbor Gate is back on schedule. New approved crew starts Monday. Nice work." I smiled, small, to myself. When I got home, I put the manila folder in a drawer. Not as a trophy, but as a reminder. Marlene had said I didn't have leverage. She was right about one thing. I didn't have power in her world of threats and smiles. But in the world that actually matters, the world of contracts, audits, and truth, leverage was already written. All I did was read it, respect it, and place it on the table. Lesson 1. Leverage can be written. Keep contracts, emails, and dates in one place, and read the clauses others skip. When pressure hits, your calm proof can speak louder than your boss. Try this today. Save key work messages and approvals in one folder every week and back them up. Lesson 2. Never sign what you cannot defend. If someone demands a risky shortcut, ask for written approval or written direction. That simple request exposes bad plans fast. What would you do in my shoes at the HR meeting? Stay, resign, or fight? Comment your answer and tell me why. Lesson 3. Protect the team by protecting the truth. Report issues early through the right process before they become public disasters. Put this into practice by learning your company's integrity policy and using it when needed. Thanks for staying till the end. I hope to see you soon again. Here. Thank you for growing with my channel, Truevenge Chronicles. What keeps you here till now? The twists, the receipts, or the clean justice endings? Tell me below. If you love true revenge stories, workplace betrayal, and contract karma where the calm person wins, keep watching more videos in the playlist section right after this episode. Truevenge Chronicles delivers suspenseful revenge stories, proof-based payback, and satisfying consequences every week. New viewers, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with a friend. Turn on notifications, and join our community by liking, sharing, and commenting today so you never miss one.
Before you go, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. Then head to the playlists section and binge the best episodes. Family revenge, boss revenge, courtroom twists, and quiet comeback stories. If this story hit you, share it with a friend who needs courage. See you in the next Truevenge Chronicles. Like the video to boost it in the algorithm and help more viewers find these emotional, suspense-filled revenge tales. Your support keeps this channel growing, week after week, story after story together. Goodbye.